The idea here is to. So I'm Stéphane Vincent. I'm working in Shanghai, close to RT-Thread. I'm looking at ecosystem. I'm looking at security and safety as well, and I have discussions with my position with a lot of partners. RT-Thread being for sure one of them. So today the idea is to introduce what is at the, or to refresh what is at the heart of the STM32Cube ecosystem, the portfolio, the software, the hardware, those type of things. And then we're gonna have also look at the partner programs, and especially on how RT-Thread is adding to that Cube ecosystem. And that's what I mean by the diversity that partners bring there and that RT-Thread is bringing there. And I will end up with a short video of a demo so that you can get an idea about this interaction between the STM32Cube ecosystem and partners like RT-Thread and their ecosystem. So let's dive into it, and for sure Q&A at the end of the presentation. So I'm gonna try to just start timer to have an idea about the time. So it's a developer. So STM32, it's a developer first strategy since 2007. Why are we saying 2007? Because 2007 is actually the year we launched the first STM32, which is the STM32F1. And since that first STM32, the developer has really been at the center of the strategy about providing the cutting edge hardware, cutting edge software, a lot of support, working on the quality, the reliability. The idea is really to help the customer focus on their design and helping them have design that are more secure, more connected, and smarter. So basically, our technology is starting with the developers. It's starting with you. If we go into the developers' needs, so yeah, we mentioned AI just now. There was a part of the presentation of ARM. There was some point on the AI. It is also a focus of ST there. So more autonomous decision, embedding AI is a key strategy for us, and is also going into helping customer developers going into that direction. More connectivity is an important part. More security is also an important part. And then on top of those pillars, or below those pillars, or sustaining those pillars, there is the really pushing the boundaries and what we can do in terms of IPs. More computing power, more flexible interface, lower power. Most of our products have embedded flash. Some, like the MPUs, do not, so that's why we put it as optional, but we are really pushing on that. So, and for sure, the portfolio, the hardware, the MCUs that we are providing to the developers, the MPUs that we are providing are a key component of the ST offer and the STM32 offer for sure. So let's start with that. So we have 5 product categories. We have wireless MCUs, short and long range connectivities. We have ultra low power MCUs, mainstream MCUs, and high performance MCUs. This is what we call the general purpose MCUs. Microcontrollers, we go from very simple product to advanced high performance MCUs. And then we also have 32-bit and 64-bit MPUs available. You can find a lot of information on our website on all those products. I can pick a few ones. We have very good ultra low power microcontrollers that do not sacrifice on the performances. That allows us to have good security, but also having AI performances or even low power MCUs. We have mainstream, we have high performance MCUs. A lot of the developers are aware about the STM32 portfolio, but I still want you to just refresh a little bit all what we have. And in fact, you will see later in the presentation that this thread is already working on some of the new series that are introduced or already announced. So M3 MCUs, we have a lot of the F1, the F3, the G4, the G0s, the C0s, which is a low cost and part of our latest product generation for sure. The ultra low power, I mentioned just now, high performance, ultra low power. This is what we have with the U5 product families. That comes with the Cortex M33. I mentioned security being a focus of the company, and we announced this year the STM32U0 that is really going for reaching new boundaries in terms of low power capabilities on a simple product, but still having some security capabilities in it. WBA, we announced it with a new series this year. And then STM32H7. STM32H7 is there on the market for a time, but we announced new series this year, the H7R or H7S, and also the STM32 MP2, which is a new product in the MPU family. There was a question just now regarding MCUs with neural processing capabilities. The STM32N6, which is a pre-announcement, is typically this type of product. So this is to give you an overview of the overall portfolio. There is a strong commitment of the company regarding the longevity of those products. It's one of the key point of the STM32 offer. Then it is not only about the hardware. The hardware is a big part of it, but another big part of that developer-first strategy is the STM32Cube ecosystem. So what we put under the umbrella of Cube ecosystem is the hardware, is the software, is the tools, but it's also all the documentation, all the trainings, everything that is available around that. And then there is also on top of that Cube ecosystem partners. I'm going to talk about that later on in this presentation. So the Cube, STM32Cube design ecosystem. Sorry, I have an animation. The hardware tool and the software. The idea is really to provide to the developer the hardware tools and the software to help the developer at every step of the design, from the selection of the product all the way to the monitoring of variables inside the product, and for sure everything that is related to the development in between. And it starts with the hardware boards. And in fact, the hardware, the STM32 hardware evaluation tools, many developers are familiar with the boards. One being the Nucleo board. So the idea is really to provide a simple, flexible platform for prototyping. You can use them together with the expansion board and then get flexible prototyping. Then we have the Discovery Kit. The Discovery Kit are usually a little bit more featured than the Nucleo boards because we are taking some of the key feature of that product and building a kit around that. You will not have all the feature of the STM32 that is on the board usually, but you really have what works to evaluate that product. And in fact, the Discovery kits also have the Arduino connector, allowing to do the expansions. Then there are the evaluation board. The evaluation board are less common on the field. They are more expensive, but they provide the capability to do a full features. And then for sure we have partners. So the board you see here on the picture is one of the board of Thread, is the ArtPi, which is a board built around the STM32H7, and the partners are also extending the hardware customer can start with. And you will see a few on of the boards from Thread being mentioned in that presentation in that regard. So we start with a selection of a board, and then for sure we have the rest of the ecosystem. So as part of the Cube framework, so this is the typical design pattern where we go for evaluation, prototyping. That's where we have tools to help you find the STM32 or the partner boards. I mentioned it just now. And then we have the STM32Cube MX. STM32Cube MX is really at the center of the ecosystem, where we have the possibility to do a lot of the configuration. We can expand it. We're gonna see it afterwards. And that is a tool that is really supporting the customer on the design steps. Then for sure we have the MCU packages. So the MCU package, that's where we have the drivers, we have the middlewares, we also have the example, the demo, and a lot of the things. This is really the core code components, development component of the ecosystem that you can then expand. You can expand with Cube expansions, and the Cube expansion can be expansion developed by ST ourselves, but you will find also partner solution as well as verticals. I will mention safety and security later on. Then we have the Cube IDE, environment development, but also partner and IDE, depending on what customer is looking for or familiar with, or for example, for safety, sometimes you need a dedicated specific safety certified IDE. Anyway, next step is the STM32Cube programmer. When you have a lot of flexibility, the Cube programmer is also a big part of the security offer of ST, where you have a lot of signing capabilities and things that we provide as a development tools inside the Cube programmer. For sure, we have a large network of partners also on the programming tools side. And the last one, but not the least, is on the Cube monitor. So it's more of a set of tools where we have tools to monitor the power consumption. We have monitor tools that are more for the RF aspect. We even have tools for the USB power delivery. And we have this capability to monitor the also a generic monitor when you can get some variables and look at it in order to debug or to do a little bit more things once your application is already programmed on the device. So these are the framework, and for sure the support channels we have in the different regions is also a key component on that overall helping the customer along the way. Before jumping into some of the things we are doing with Thread, I want to take a little bit of time to do a few highlights on the STM32Cube ecosystems. I gave the idea about what is inside that, but I want to highlight on the quality assurance, the effort that ST is putting into the quality of the software we provide to our developers. Again, it's an important point because it helps the developers focus on the differentiation instead of focusing on redoing what we are already providing. A lot of things is around the reliability. We are talking about MISRA C. We also certified our development process, and we are also optimizing the drivers that we are providing to really make sure that the developer is leveraging everything that the STM32 is able to deliver. And the ease of use is also a thing. Now, it's also about feedback collection and fixing some of the defect that we can find, or that the community can find. And for that, there is a tool that is not mentioned on that slide, but that is important, is GitHub. And in fact, you have, if you go on the ST Microelectronics GitHub, you will find the packages. So our drivers, our Cube packages are available there, and you can leverage the GitHub platform. But if, let's say, we find an issue and we fix it, GitHub is going to provide you with more dynamic access to that. For sure, the issue is going to be fixed, is going to be put on the next release, but of Cube that you can get on st.com. But have a look at the GitHub. You can find a lot of intermediate deliveries of things there. It is also a way as well to have access to more things. Safety is also an important point. It's an important point for our customers, an important point for ST. And we have packages. We have a couple of packages for the STM8, but on the STM32, we have a Class B package. We have the version 4 that has been published over the last few years. That is easier to use, easier to integrate. And we also have some CL functionality safety package up to CL3. In a 1 out of 2 topologies for example, the IEC 61508. So if you look at functional safety on st.com, you will find a lot of things around that. What we are trying to put as well is also put some effort on security. Security is becoming more and more important. There are more and more certification, there are more and more regulation that our customer need to pay attention to. If we talk about Matter, there is a Connectivity Standards Alliance. If we talk about Europe, there is the RED and the CRA regulation that are coming into play very soon, and other regulation, some standards as well, like the 62443. Then we build a framework which is STM32 Trust. So if you go on st.com, you look for STM32 Trust, you're gonna find it, and that is gonna enable you on that. We are focusing on PSA from ARM, and also on CZIP from Global Platform. These are certifications that are at device level and help the customer on the end device and application, because it helps customer to have a good understanding of the capabilities of the product, and those capabilities have been assessed externally, and also provide some inputs about the mechanism that are also, like secure boot, I think, that are also very important for security regulation or security standards. And then for sure, as I mentioned, the training, the documentation is also part of the STM32Cube ecosystem. And we have developer zone on st.com. There are lots of events as well, lots of things around the education. We are on the major social media. We are also on the major Chinese social media as well. And I mentioned already the GitHub of ST Microelectronics. We have wiki, and we have a strong community. So if there is anything that you are looking for, look at those resources. There is a good chance that you're gonna find something that is gonna help you over there. Now, the STM32Cube is the offer for from ST, but that is also extended by partners, and Thread is one of those partners. So I will just go through those elements, and then we're gonna have a short demo. So if I take what I just, as a summary of what I just mentioned at the values of the STM32Cube framework, is the idea is to accelerate the development, focus on the quality, focus on the stability, compatibility, and provide a lot of resources, developer zone being one of them. This is what I mentioned. AI is also something we are looking at, and we have the AI toolkits. And a lot of our partner and RTT thread is also sharing some of those values, and they are extending the Cube offer. So they can extend it by offering a different approach to what ST is providing, or by providing more features or additional, and that helps customer address their challenges. So this is why ST is also welcoming partners to bring more choices, to bring more value to the customers. Now, the partners are also leveraging the intrinsic value I just mentioned. And ST has a partner program, and if these are the different categories that we have in the ST partner program, and the one I highlighted are the one that RT-Thread is providing elements, adding to the STM32 ecosystem. RT-Thread may not be really active, really mentioned on all of those subcategories, but they definitely have software development tools, embedded software, evaluation and development boards as part of it. And in fact, if you go and you check the ST website, this is what you're gonna find: a small description, the primary contact, as well as the company website. So ST-Thread is part of the ST Partner Program. And we are also working with RT-Thread to bring some expansion. So there are already some expansion available. You will see it on the demo that is coming just next. But more are coming soon, and we are really working with RT-Thread on those aspects. And I will explain a little bit what it means when we show the demo. And then there is also a lot of collaboration between RT-Thread and ST and ST. The board. So I mentioned this is the picture of the ArtPi. There is also a board named Spark that is based on the STM32F4. And two of the products I mentioned at the beginning, the H7RS, which is a product that is providing more performance, but also working with external memories. So that's gonna bring the flexibilities on the memories even more than the current STM32. Then that is a board that RT-Thread is already working on. And the STM32N6, which is a product that has the NPU, so neural processor unit inside. The BSP of RT-Thread support the STM32 portfolio, and then we have university activities, talent certification activities in China, and also joint events being local in China, but also worldwide, like the one of today. So what I have next is a short demo. So the demo is on the form of a video, and I will explain what is going on that video, pausing it at some point in time so that you can follow up. And after this short demo, we can have a few Q&A session for sure. So let me stop the presentation and we go for the video. So what you see here is actually CubeMX. And in fact, if you go into the, let me go back just so you can see where it is. Here. So if you go in the Manage Embedded Software package, you have the possibility to load it from an URL. So as of today, you have to enter the URL you see on the screen in order to get the RT-Thread plugin inside CubeMX. On the new plugin that RTthread is working and that we are finalizing these weeks, these days, the plugin is going to be available natively by default inside CubeMX. So when you, as you can see it here, you will see it out of the box from CubeMX later on, as it is already the case for other or other partners. And yeah, this is what you have here. But as soon as you have this, the steps are going to be the same. So you get the package, you download it, and then you are able to select it. You can select different versions, and then you are able to install it. There is a license for sure, just to before you are able to download. Now, this demo is using the Spark demo board from RTthread. So we're gonna have to choose the STM32F4 product, which is the one that is used on that board. So here we are looking for the product, and we start the project. When you start the project in the middleware, because now you can see RTthread, and in fact we're gonna use the kernel, the shell, and the device. We are basically using the shell that on top of the UART. That's why we need to add the device for the UART and for sure the kernel. So then you're gonna have the you can enable those different elements. You can configure them. So here you have a list of variables. The one at the bottom needs to be enabled for that demo. And then we need to change something on the hard fault interrupt function. So it looks like we are disabling the hard fault interrupt, but that is not exactly what is happening here. What is happening here is that the CubeMX can generate all the interrupt handler and all the things for you to use. But this is already inside the kernel of RTthread. So what we are doing here is just to make sure that we only have one hard fault handler, which is the one that is already inside RTthread. And then we select the UART. We select the UART one because that is the one that is connected on the ST-Link that is on the board, and that is also enabling the virtual COM port, and we are enabling a short GPIO just to toggle an LED as a basic example. So that PF11 is the pin that corresponds to the LED on the things. The clock configuration, so the F407 is a maximum clock of 168. We ask CubeMX to find the proper parameter. And before generating the code, we select kill for that example, name the project, create a path, and then we generate the code. And once it is done, you will see the MDK environment, and then there are a few minor things to add, and you will see the actual RTthread shell running on the STM32. So by default, it is the UART one. We are using the UART. By default, it's the 2. We are using the UART one. That's why we need to change. And then we just copy paste inside the main the code that is doing the LED toggling, and we run, and we are good to go. Yep. Select the reset and run, and then you will see the shell running. And you will have here also the LED that is being toggled. So let me get back to, so this is what I wanted to show to you. just as a refresh of what is inside the STM32Cube ecosystem, and provide you an example of expanding that or adding to the diversity, providing more choices, more flexibility to the customers, like with RT-Shred. Okay. Do we have any questions?
Oh, hey, Stefan. Yes, we do. If you look at the chat.
I was not looking at the chat just now, so.
No, we've got a lot of questions here. So let's. I don't think we'll have time for all of them, but we'll go through what we can. Paul says, I am transitioning into DSP using development boards. May I ask what Nucleo board you suggest to get me started? I'm really afraid I may have bought the wrong one for DSP applications.
So if you go with, so there are a couple of things the best thing is to go into the STM32Cube Finder and or on st.com and to look for either a product with a core that has some DSP capabilities, or we also have some accelerator. So if you take, for example, the STM32G4, if you take the latest STM32H5 as well, or the latest H7, you will have some accelerators that are good for the DSP capabilities. So I will choose the board more based on the microcontroller. Now, after, it depends on the actual performances you need, and these can vary for an application, from one application to another.
Okay, good. Paul also asks, he says, may we know how to apply for a collaboration, such as a joint lab with the university?
Oh, it will depend on the region you are in. I would be able to give the contact for China, because that's where I'm located. For the rest of the so either the European region or Asia Pacific, or the Americas, I would recommend to get in touch with the ST representative over there and to see how you can go.
Okay.
If it's in China or in Asia, I should be able to find the contact a little bit more easily.
Awesome. Ricardo asks, since Apple and now Microsoft seem to be transitioning to ARM-based OSs, do you think it will be a priority to develop an ARM native IDE and development tools for ST micros?
An ARM, where is the question? I didn't.
If you go up in the time to 11:02, time 11:02.
I'm not sure I got the. Can you repeat the question? Sorry.
Sure. What I'll do is I will post it in the chat again.
The chat, so that I can get it.
So you can see it right
again.
at the yeah. So if you go down to the bottom of the chat now, you'll see it.
Now I'm native ID. Okay. It's true that okay. I would need to double check on those aspects. The STM32Cube ID that we have as of today is based on Eclipse, so it's gonna run more on the typical thing. We have a couple of. We also put a VS Code plugin. I don't know if there is if this would work on ARM. I didn't check But we are looking into it, and I will definitely ask the question to the division.
Okay. And just above the comment I just posted, Mohammed says, I've got an F7 Discovery board. I want to implement a multi-model on it. And can I do that using STM32 Nano Edge AI or Cube AI? And can I implement it on one core, or do I implement one model on each core?
Oh, I'm not an AI expert, but at least I can provide input on the difference between Nano AGI and Cube.ai. So first, Cube.ai is about optimizing an existing model. So you have already developed your model, and then you want to optimize it so that it really maximizing the performances you can get on an STM32. You will be able to improve the memory management. You will be able to optimize it for a given STM32, etc. Nano AGI is more about helping the customer from to find the model that works best for them, and then to implement it. So the approach is a little bit different, and there are also some type of model that QBI is more suitable than Nano AGI. But you would need to go into. What I would recommend is also to look at there is a dedicated website on st.com regarding the AI. You may find some additional information around that one. Now, on the single core, on the multi-core, I won't be able to answer that one, but you can ask the question on the community as well, or reach to your ST representative, and then we can follow up on some of these questions.
Awesome. What I would like to ask you to do, Stefan, there's so many questions and comments here. They just started flooding in. So after, yes, I'd rather have lots of questions than no questions at all. So after this session, if I can ask you to go back and scroll up and start going through all of the questions. Well, some of them are just comments, but you might want to comment on them. I mean, there's lots of people are using your boards, it seems.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, yeah. Okay, I
I
will
was
have a
amazed
look, and
myself.
I will put a few a few comments, or at least a few guides if I can.
That's excellent. I was surprised myself to find that ST Micro, you've got your own fabs. I hadn't realized that before.
Yeah, ST has factories. Yes, we have
Yeah,
our own fab.
semiconductor fabs and packaging and everything. And also, I just heard that you've just invested 5 billion euros in a new silicon carbide fab.
Yeah, silicon carbide is also a big focus of the company, indeed.
Yeah, for electric vehicles and RF power, high power applications. Very interesting indeed.
Yep, there are
Okay,
lots of
thank you.
things going on.
Yeah, it's an amazing world. Um, Okay, I will leave you there, Stefan. If you can go back to all these
Sure.
comments and start responding to them. I'm also going to ask the RT Thread team to repost the link for the lucky dip that we'll be announcing after the next talk. So new questions just come in. Is it possible to generate code from a Mr. Compliance?
I will answer. This one I can answer, but I will post the link, Leon. I don't want to go too much beyond my time.
Okay, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
See you on the flip side.